Hey everyone, welcome to the Techegy podcast. This is episode number 10, and it will keep growing as we continue to produce this lovely show. As you may or may not know by now, we are a podcast that deals with retro computing and gaming and the vast landscape of the modern and futuristic. If at any time you kind of like what you hear, or maybe you just don't really hate it that much and maybe you want to hear more, go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe. But I'm going to need you to do something else. I'm going to need you to climb to the top rope. Look out as the crowd chants your name. I'm going to need you to deliver the most devastating elbow drop on that like button. Ooh, yeah, brother. Techegy podcast. How do you do, guys? What's up?
Not much, John.
Number 10. Wow.
Number 10. Not counting like some of the lives we've done in interviews, but it's officially number 10.
You think we'd have been banned from YouTube by now?
Well, we can be. I
We
can make
might
that
be.
happen.
You never know. So,
There was a couple times in the old ones where John almost got us in that position. Yeah, but
Yeah. There's one of those in every group. Yeah.
we now call it the John incident.
The John incident.
it's very
before my time.
Yeah, it was a very surprising incident that I could feel coming from a mile away. And when it happened, I was like, "Yep, there it was."
It was funny.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 3. If anybody wants to go
Yeah.
back and rewatch it, that I edited it out, but you can kind of tell what was going on during that. But anyways, what have you guys been up to? We've done some interviews. We had a really great interview with 8-Bit Millie, William Hicks, back on the 30th about his new game. And if you want to check that out, go to YouTube, go to our website, techegy.me, all the podcast apps. But I'm interested in what you guys have been doing since the last time we had a podcast.
We also had that interview with Danny. Remember?
Danny was amazing.
Yeah,
That was great to hear from him. Also in the same places, you can check those out. But anyways, what have you guys been up to since we last talked?
Bought my first Atom. I never had one before. So
Nice.
Been goofing off with that, going from kind of interesting going from Windows 11 to Atom and the tape drive. So
Is that count as an advance? Like, is that an advancement or?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. Very interesting machine. So I know we were talking a little bit before about some of the games we're playing. You finally bought Tiny Tina. So that one, and what else we've been playing? Ninja Turtles, right, Mike? We
played some Ninja Turtles.
yeah, that was.
John played some Fallout 76, which
We're
nobody
playing a
liked
lot
but
of.
us.
I've never played Fallout. I actually have never played that game.
Well, then you need to play with us for a while.
So, yeah,
It's a train wreck, but it's like
It's a train wreck, and we like it.
it's a grand orchestra of a train wreck while it happens, because once you get to a certain point in the night, it's just like us bitching at each other for stuff back and forth, where it's like, why didn't you do this? Why aren't you doing this? Where are you? We're lost. I'm over here, and we're literally like 10 feet away from each other, and somebody's dying over in the corner, and I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, I'm
yelling for
else.
help. John never helps me. I die.
I don't have time. I don't have time for that.
that's hilarious. Sounds like when my buddy Andre and we play Rainbow Six, and then I hear, "Oops, my bad," and somebody blows up. You hear this grenade blow up, and you have that unfortunate grenade accident where it takes out half the team, and "Oops, my bad." Sounds like one of those moments.
It is, but it sometimes involves nuclear weapons when we have accidents. So.
A little bigger. Oops, my bad.
It's like it's either nuclear weapons or Mothman, because Mothman's in Fallout 76 as it's based in West Virginia, and it's like we'll be just doing something, and all of a sudden there's this monster attacking everybody, and I'm out. I'm like, I don't have the ammunition for this. You guys can handle this. They can't handle it.
Well, you don't want to play Siege with me because I accidentally shoot my own players a lot. So,
Unfortunate grenade accident. Sounds
hey,
like.
when someone comes around the corner, I start shooting at them. Anyone in the way gets shot.
I had that problem on that new Rainbow Six one. It was hard. I mean, it was a good game, but the difficulty level was cranked up. My buddy had come running out in front of me. Dude, you're shooting me.
Yeah.
Get out from in front of me.
Yeah.
You don't make you make a great shield because I didn't get hit, but it's
Well, I have reflexes. If you scare me, I shoot you.
He
what
does
what
say
does
you
Rick
can't.
Astley say? Those are the rules. You know the rules, and so do I. Come on, go quit running in front of me.
Well, the problem is MC camps outside of doors and stuff. So like when I come out of a door, he flinches and shoots me.
That's exactly right.
He's
I
like,
don't
"Well,
know
you
what
were
my
in."
cat does.
He's like, "You were in my way." I was like, "I had to come out the door."
Hey, I'm old. I shoot anything that moves. But we also been playing Conan, but we're waiting for an update. They're supposed to be coming out with an update sometime this year.
Is that Xbox Live?
No, we paid for that.
Okay.
We paid for Conan.
It's on Xbox Live now, though.
Okay.
It is it on?
Yes.
Game Pass?
Yes,
I didn't know it was on Game
I'll have
Pass.
to take a look at
I
that.
think it came out a couple months ago, didn't it?
Yeah, it might be on there.
Just
It
don't
did.
try to play 360 games after October.
Hey, you know what? If you want to buy 360 games, hurry up and do it this weekend because they're about to skyrocket in price.
Or just go out on Xbox Live and pull them all.
You could, but they're not. I don't know if you want to call it porting, but they're drawing the line on those 360 games now.
But you still, if you've already pulled it, you can pull it after that.
Well,
date.
yes.
So
Yeah,
if you
you
go
can.
out right now and you sit there for the next 3 weeks and you pull every game down,
Get it now.
Well, what exactly are they doing? They just not selling them at all now, or what are they going to do?
they're just pulling them off, so you can't.
You can't even download them.
You can't get them for free with Xbox Live anymore. There'll no longer be games with gold.
So could you download them to like a separate hard drive and just keep that? And
Well,
then
as long as
there?
you downloaded them once, they're in your account.
That's
Okay.
true. Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll let you re-download them. It's the problem is if you hadn't, you lose it. Which I'm at least happy with that because the last thing I want is some of the games I paid for going goodbye. Because I did pay for a couple of pretty good games on 360.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well,
Must be server space or something that they're trying to conserve.
I think, but just like Sony, Sony's now going to bring on the PS3 games, so they're a little bit behind on that reverse compatibility. I did see the other day that there was an article that Sony's now going to start porting a lot more PS3 games to the PS5.
Interesting.
At some point, you have to kind of. I mean, how long are we going to support?
No,
stuff
keep them
before
all.
Yeah, you got to put MSX on there next. I mean,
Hey, that was the original Microsoft console,
not sold in the US.
not sold in the US, but you can get it and it will play in the US.
Hey, I like the old games, so I want
I
them
have
all.
one.
I want them all. Buy another server, Microsoft.
We'll make sure we'll share this with Microsoft. So
I don't think there was anything else I've been playing. What have we been playing, John?
I started my second playthrough of Elden Ring.
I got to get back
So-
to that.
So don't expect to see me for like the next month. I'm gonna hole up in my basement, and that's gonna be the entirety of like the next 30 days. Good game. My favorite game ever up until this point was the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. That was always my favorite game. It's getting close to being Elden Ring. Just how it is.
No, it's got to be the game of the year. I don't see anything out that even comes close.
The only one that would come close would be the God of War game, which now is, I don't even think it's going to even be released. this year.
No, they just announced today it is going to be released this year.
They say that, but they said that with Cyberpunk like 6
Well, I
times.
think they're having a show here in a couple months here where they're going to show it. So,
Interesting.
Yes,
Nick at work, he brought it up. There was a thing that said that they found a thing that says it's coming out. So,
I guess time will tell.
well, yeah, you can't go by that. It could be just someone faking it, but the leak, there is a leak that supposedly it's coming out. So we'll see. I never believe it till I see it, but
It's like multiplayer co-op on Halo Infinite. I won't believe it till I see it.
well, that's Hey, I'm in no hurry. I'm so backlogged on games. Whenever they come out, they come out. You know. The
I
only
have
ones
like
you got- I was gonna say the only ones you got to play right away is if they're multiplayer when they come out. The single players you can play them anytime.
Right.
I have like 20 games sitting on my shelf in the living room that still are in the plastic wrap. So
Yeah.
I got plenty of time to do stuff.
Awesome.
I just have too many games I started and played like maybe 5 to 10 hours of them and then never got back to them. You know, Elden Ring.
Yeah, it takes devotion.
I blame it all on Game Pass. They keep putting new games out. I gotta try them all. You know. So, but I do love it. It's probably the best thing that ever come to gaming. So, I mean, it makes it affordable.
Yeah.
Before my son wanted just about every game, and I wanted every other game he did, so we had to buy them all. You know. So now it's a lot cheaper. So.
Yeah, and you got if you get bored, you can always pull something new down. It's
Well,
like
it made me look at a lot of games I would have never even thought to look at. So there's a lot of 8-bit games on there, 16-bit games I would have never even tried.
It does that with a lot of indie games too. It gives you an opportunity to check out because there's indie games that like just to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't spend money on normally.
Right.
And Game Pass kind of gives you the opportunity to check out some of those. So that kind of helps some of the indie developers a little bit. But hey, we have a lot on the schedule tonight and all that. So just real quick, I want to talk about some conventions that are coming up. And the first one that I want to mention is the CCAC, which is the Classic Console and Arcade Gaming Show in Cleveland. It is Saturday, July 23rd, 2022. So that's just in like 2 weeks from this Saturday. 7/16 next Saturday is Final Boss Con in Rio Grande, Ohio, which is down towards the West Virginia Ohio border. We have Gen Con in Indianapolis, which is another gaming one that's on 7/23. Then we have Power South Bend in Indiana. South Bend, Indiana at the Century Center is 8/27 through 8/28 that weekend. We have the Tandy Assembly in September 30th to October 2nd in Springfield, Ohio, which is over between Cincinnati and Dayton. Cleveland Gaming Classic is here in Ohio on 9/24. It's outside the airport. It's apparently going to be the biggest gaming convention on the East Coast now, is what they're saying. If you consider Cleveland part of the Eastern United States, some people call it the Midwest, but I think there's more in common with Pennsylvania and Cleveland than there is with like Minneapolis. So Pittsburgh Retro Gaming Convention is October 1st to October 2nd. That's at the Monroeville Convention Center in Monroeville, PA. And we have the East Coast Rep Rap Festival, which is a 3D printing festival. That's October 8th through October 9th in Bel Air, Maryland. Retro Games Con in Syracuse, New York is October 8th through October 9th. So that's the same weekend. Torgs, which used to be the official largest gaming convention in Ohio, is November 5th at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, Ohio. And then we have the Detroit Retro Video Game Show in Livonia, Michigan on November 5th as well. So 2 competing conventions there. Wow. That's just for like what I pay attention to there. I mean, there's all the Southeast Gaming Expo, I think just happened last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Or it just happened like the last couple of weeks. It was originally supposed to be in Greensboro, South Carolina, and it was moved to Atlanta. But you can find, I'm sure there's going to be YouTube videos on those. So if you just some conventions coming up, I'm going to be at a few of those, and I'm sure JM and MC are going to be at a couple of these as well. All these links for these conventions will be in the YouTube video description as well as the podcast description.
Cool. Very good. Yeah, I'm still up in the air for the one in a couple of weeks.
Which one? Oh, the CCAC?
Yeah,
that's the one we always go to.
I know, but I have to I have a conflict that I'm trying to get out of. So
Oh well, just kind of snake your way out of it
yeah, but
in the most efficient
Okay.
manner.
we'll see. There's a good chance I'll probably go, but I have to figure out a way to get around this conflict. So. But
Well,
anyway,
if you do come, it'll be the third year in a row that we all went together. So
yeah.
so that's a plus.
I'm going. I'm
Yep.
pretty much staying a couple blocks from his house.
Also true.
Is
in the
Millie
hotel.
going to be at that one?
He is,
Well, maybe
'cause
I'll
I-
go then.
because I told him to bring those T-shirts that he had.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe I'll go. I'll try to buy something off of them.
You'll have some chickies there.
I was gonna say, I hope he brings 2X. So,
Yeah, well, that's what we said. We said we needed big boy sizes.
yeah, we doesn't mean he'll bring them.
Well, he might not. He might not.
So,
Anyways, that's what's going on in the world of retro gaming conventions. Whoever would like to take the wheel.
you want me to go
please
first?
Steer. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I might as well get it over with. So, you
Painful
did give
things
me the
first.
ability to share a screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me start something here. All right. Okay. Let me hit share screen. Pick the right screen, maybe. All right. Can you see that, everybody? Oop. There. Can you guys see that now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to bring up a 8-bit computer since we've been talking about 8-bit computers. This is one I've owned pretty much all my life, since a teenager anyway. But I think it was kind of underrated because it actually did compete with some of the IBM computers at that time and everything else. But it's the TRS-80 color computer. They had multiple versions of it. They had like this gray one was their first one. It was a gray model. It had a not so hot of a keyboard, but what was nice about the color computer was you could either program in assembler language or basic, but the basic, it had an extended basic built into the ROM, where a lot of other 8-bit computers you had to put a cartridge in to get it, or the basic it was on there was like a real stripped down basic. Their extended basic, you could create circles and lines and actually pixels, and you could flip pages. So it was actually really simple for kids and people to create games and software. Now it didn't have a whole lot of games for it. I mean, it has a lot, but not as many as some of the other systems because only Radio Shack and Tandy made games for it. They didn't allow anyone else to make games for it other than people who programmed them themselves. But it started out with the first one, Color Computer 1, which was gray, and then they moved up to a Color Computer 2, which had a regular keyboard on it. And that's another reason why I liked it. It had a pretty much, I mean, it was missing a few keys, but like even the Commodore keyboard and like TI-99, their keyboards are not as good. I don't want to say not as good. They don't have as many keys on it. So this one's more like your modern day keyboards. And then now them two had a lesser graphics mode. They only had like 2 color, 4 color, and 8 color. And then the third one they made, I don't know exactly how many colors it was, but I know they had at least 16 colors, and it had 128 K of memory in it, which was more than a lot of the systems back then. And the first one came out in 1980, and they actually lasted till 1991, I think it was. And but they were a good computer, and I really liked it. And why I'm showing this is this community is pretty good. Most of the people in the community put all their free stuff on certain websites, and that's what I want to show everybody. And they've actually, in that day you had to save things to cassettes and like floppy disks and stuff like that, the 5 1/4 ones. Well, I'm going to show you a website where a guy has created a module where you could save to SD cards, which is really nice. So it saves just like a hard drive almost, which makes it a lot easier for you. The only problem with 1 and 2 was they got that RCA, I think it was called video in that, which was, it's tough for the modern TVs. Now I know the third one actually had composite, which, you could now hook up to a regular TV. Unfortunately, I don't have the Color Computer 3. I only have the Color Computer 1 and 2. But anyway, let me move on to the second slide. If you go to the web, there's a site called the TRS-80 Color Computer Archive website, where pretty much anything related to the color computer is free out there. They even have the old Rainbow magazines, which had all the code for, like, you'd buy a magazine, they had all kind of games in there. You could just type in the code and, you'd have games. But they have hundreds and hundreds of games and books out there about it, all kind of PDFs of books to, how to use the, basic programming. And, so it's a really nice website, and these websites will be in our notes underneath our YouTube videos and that. So if anyone needs the web address, but that's a really good one for source information. Now the second one I found, which is kind of nice, is there's a TRS-80 Color Computer Facebook website, and if you go to that Facebook site here, and actually I have it on video here if you're on YouTube, they actually have under their files menu is all these programs that people have created themselves, and they're uploading them to the web for free. You don't even have to pay for them. A guy just created this, I forget what it's called, Ghost something, but it's basically like kind of like it's not really Pac-Man, but you have a guy that goes around a circle and these chips come down and you got to dodge them. But it's, but it's a free game. It works pretty good as far as I see. No, it's still in development. He's still got some little bugs in it, but it works pretty good. And it's all free. And there's hundreds and hundreds of games on this Facebook website. And they have all the people, names who created them and, different versions of them and everything else. So it's a good source for games. And then what I was talking about earlier is the SD card cartridge that you can put in the cartridge slot instead of games. There's a website. It's called the Coco SDC, and it's on the Zipster Zone website. Now I swear I paid less than this, but right now it's $85, and they are all out of stock. What the guy does is he'll make like 25 or 50 of them, and then they'll be on the site to buy. And then once he runs out of them, he makes them in batches. So like, I know right now he's sold out, but if you wait a month or two and you go back on there, probably should be more there. But it's really nice. It plugs in, it has a light showing that it works. It has a reset button on it. And, you can, put different memory cards in there. And what's nice is when you first put your SD card in there, you go to the website that that he's selling them from, and he has a thing that you flash your card, your SD card. And when you flash that, he downloads hundreds of games for you. And he puts 2 directories on there just full of like a lot of the ROMs and a lot, the original ROMs from Radio Shack and a lot of the games. It's already on, it just automatically puts it on your drive for you. But what's nice is you can create other folders and save anything you want. So it really made it a lot easier than fighting with a cassette tape, hoping that your game will restore and lose the game, and with floppies and all that. Whereas the SD card, your chance of losing is pretty slim. So that's really all I had to say. I just thought that the Color Computer, I think, is a really nice computer, and it's really cheap to get right now versus a lot of the other systems because it isn't a big hit right now. We have a lot of them where people are fighting over them. The Color Computer, you can still regularly get them. They're all over a lot of the websites and that. So if you're innocent or if you're interested, go ahead out there and buy one. I think they're pretty fun. So anyway,
I'm amazed at how big the library was for that. I was looking at some of the games on the one on your second slide, and I was like, geez, I played all those on the Apple. It looks like a lot of those Sierra games were truly cross-platform.
Well, the Sierra ones are mostly on the Color Computer 3. If you can get a Color Computer 3, that's one you want to go with because every game works on that one. The Color Computer 2 and 1, you're going to have games that don't with the 16 colors versus the 8, or 4. But there was a lot of good games. I loved their baseball, their football, and they were just well-made games to play. They had Polaris, which is Missile Command. Basically, it was pretty good on there, and they have a bunch of other ones. And what's nice is all them ROMs are out there now. You can download them and play them. I guess, Radio Shack's out of business now, and so is Tandy. I mean, these computers were really from Tandy. They weren't, but they built them for Radio Shack. And that's why actually number 3 is called the Tandy computer instead of the color computer. And well, I think it's called Tandy color computer, but there's a lot of fun stuff on there. Plus, if you like text adventure games, geez, man, there's a million of them. There are. So, but it also has a lot of home software, and there's a speech synthesizer card you can get. You can buy you plug in this side and it does speech, and they have actually one that does music and stuff. And actually, they have something that can control your lights in the house. There's actually a module you plug in this side, and you can program to control your lights.
I have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kind of other stuff too that I don't even know about, but it's out there, So I'm hoping more and more people program for it, so there's more games out there like other systems are, doing. So
very cool.
You should live the dream and start programming for it, MC.
Well, I'm trying. I'm going to go back and try to learn. I knew BASIC a long time ago, and I mean, I know some of it, but not enough to program a game. But I'd like to go back and learn it. That's why I pulled it back out, and I bought that, that card system, that SD card system, the Coco SDC, so that I could save whatever I program, so I don't lose anything. I hated in the old days if you got a bad floppy or something.
Oh yeah.
Because I know that when I was at school, I worked on, what was it? I think it was an Atari, either 400 or 800. And I created a picture of ET, and I made it like mouth move, like it was talking and everything. And we're showing everybody one day, and I had, like I actually got an A in that class, but I've shown people one day, and all of a sudden when I went to read it, the disc went bad and I lost the whole thing. So, but
Well, I just want to say that I appreciate you telling us the grades you got in a class 40 years ago.
I got to brag about something. That was probably the best thing I ever did. Ever since then, it's downhill.
I don't doubt that.
But that was fun doing that kind of stuff. It sucks when you lose something. So.
Yeah, been there. Normally it's a night you're working real late. We were working real late in school, try to get the thing done, and you're in a lab and
oh yeah. I got to start over, create it again.
Yeah, it's when UPSs weren't big either, and
yeah,
would go down.
So
you got to write the code down in your little journal, in your little code book.
Well, I did have most of it written down, but the problem was it was hundreds of lines. I wasn't typing it back in. The data statement was huge, and it was just all numbers and commas, So now where that went, I don't know. It was in some tablet, probably got thrown out. So, but
cool stuff. That's a good segue, JC, on the AtomNet.
It is
with the way that something I've noticed is a lot of the systems, as Mike was showing off, Mike MC was showing off about the people are making drives and stuff. I just got an Atom last weekend, I think it was, and I came with this little box. So people on video can actually see it. This right here was a little box. And I was like, okay, what do I do with this thing? It's an AtomNet. It doesn't have there's no card in it. So of course, first thing I thought is I got to make a card for it, because you have to have a card. Well, that's not how this thing right here actually works. So what you do is you hook this thing to your Atom via the AtomNet. It's called FujiNet. I think I may have called it AtomNet. It's called FujiNet. And you reset the Atom once, and it comes up, and it basically goes out to a TFT server. Am I saying that? I got my initials there right. And you can basically emulate drives in the cartridge bays. So every game that came out for Atom and Coleco, you could play on this guy. Now I did learn that this one right here is a prototype. It was one of the prototypes they came out with, because since I didn't know how to use it, I actually hit up, and I'll tell you, the Discord group for the FujiNet is phenomenal. They helped me out. I had no clue what I was doing with this thing. And they gave me that, and turned out it was the cable that I got along with it from the person I got it from. They have to be crossover cables. It's basically the same cable as an Atom keyboard. It looks like a telephone cable, but it's 6 wires and they're crossed over. So I ended up getting this one from John Lundy on Facebook. This is a FujiNet Lite. It's got the card and everything. This is more of a production unit. So there are people actually making these. I find this one's a little faster than the prototype. And the prototype's pretty stable, but I just kind of like the look of this one. And the prototype, if it's really a prototype, I want to kind of put it away, because of this. So the FujiNet actually comes out, this is out for the Ataris is what it started with, the Atari computers, which I never had one. So there's other systems. I forget the other ones that you can look at. So if you go out to the FujiNet I think it's Fuji. If you just search for FujiNet, we'll put a link in this. But they've got all the different systems. You can buy the device directly from them. You can set up your own server on a Raspberry Pi inside of your house. You can put all your games on an SD card. So basically, it works very similar to the device that Mike showed you for the Coco, but you can actually go online. It actually has Wi-Fi on it, where you can actually hook it to your home network and go out and grab that stuff. And again, it works with both carts, both the carts and the DDPs. The tape drives is what they are. So it's good stuff. If you haven't had them, you really should be looking at that. Those tape drives, I can tell you, I've been repairing an Atom. These machines are, I don't know what it is about these retro machines. I know Mike will agree with me on this. You can't just have one. You got to get more than one, and you got to mess with it. You got to take them apart. And so the second one, the tape drive didn't work so hot on. So I actually had to call a friend. I did try to do some of the repair stuff. What happened was on those, the wheel that guides the tape that's near the bottom, they melted, and they put goo all over the innards of these tape drives. It's one of the design flaws of the Atom, and I say one. Unfortunately, it had a lot of them, but it's still a pretty cool computer. Other projects that I've been working on, I don't know if you guys, for people who have video. Let me put it actually in front of me. So Coleco back in the day, before they got into making game systems, if I put it here. There we go. Before they did game systems, they did these little arcades. The most popular one was the Pac-Man. I do have one of the Pac-Mans. This one I just got. If you ever go back, I know one of my favorite movies is the first Vacation movie with Chevy Chase. There's actually one of the Pac-Man ones in it. It's in the back of the family truckster. But I've been getting these. There's actually a group that actually works on restoring these. There's a guy on Facebook that actually redoes that's redoing the artwork. So you can buy new stickers for them. The terminals get corroded. So I've started a little collection of these, the ones that look like this. And I'm going to be ordering a bunch of the decals, replacement decals from this guy. So that'll be pretty cool. The crazy thing about these is the new version of Coleco. The Chris Cardello version of Coleco, they came out with new versions of these. They were Rainbow Bright and Robotech. Didn't really catch on, but they came out in 2019. I actually saw one about 3 weeks ago. My buddy that runs a store down in Gastonia, Reddit Genesis, he actually had one new in the box. He's like, "Do you want this thing?" I'm like, "Dude, it's Rainbow Bright. No, I don't need that." But I actually got to see one in person, and they were pretty well made. They looked a lot like this. I was surprised at how much, because again, the new version of the Coleco company doesn't have the old molds. So they didn't make them from the old molds. They did them from new designs. I was amazed at how close they were. There's also, I saw a guy online that actually had a 3D print version of them. So there was a takedown notice of it, but if you go out and search for it, it's still out there. So if you ever want to make your own 3D version, you could. And the guy that was doing the decals, it's Matt Barlett. If you go out to Old Maid New is the Facebook group. So what else have I been messing with? So Mike and I have been talking a little bit about Odysseys. The old Odyssey 2s. I did get one of it's like an EverDrive for the Odyssey 2. It's they call it the Video Pack USD cart. It comes from Spain. The case on it's 3D printed. It looks pretty monstrous. It's huge, especially if you have to put the adapter in, because if you put the voice thing on, you have to use an adapter. So this thing's already this big. You put the adapter on, it's hanging out about this far. Seriously. I mean, but it works extremely well. It's what I like about it. It's using SD card. So like Mike was saying earlier, if something goes wrong, it's probably going to be the SD card, and you're going to have a backup of it anyways. So it was a lot of fun to play some of the games you can't get on it, and it worked perfectly with the voice. It scared the out of me, because I was playing Casey's Crazy Chase, and it said I forget what it said, but it was, what was that? Because it doesn't come out of the TV, it comes out of the voice module. Scared the heck out of me. It was crazy. It was crazy. So I'm trying to think what else.
So there's actually a module for the Odyssey 2 that kind of functions like the FujiNet, and I think I've brought it up before, and I don't have it here in front of me, and I'll get it and find it and put it in a link in the chat. But it's a product that's made in Brazil.
Huh.
And I think the only place that you can get it is you have to like reach out to this guy on Facebook, and he custom builds them as the orders come in. But it functions in the same manner that it connects to a Wi-Fi connection and then goes out to a server and pulls games down to the Odyssey 2.
That's cool.
And I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But I think it's been around. I knew about it since at least October of last year. So it's been around at least since then. But I'll find it and put it in the description for the video and the podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, the guy that's doing these, he goes by Wilco 2009 or 2009, and he's over on the videopack.nl forum. And then where I got him though was on Atari Age. But he's kind of the same way. He kind of builds them like a group of them, sells out, and then he'll build another group, sells out. So I just happened to catch him on this next group. If somebody really wanted one, what you do is just hit him up, and when he does it, he just kind of keeps a list of the people to hit up. So
well, I'm trying to find the same thing for the color computer for a TI 99, and there's something out there, but it doesn't seem like anyone's selling it right now. Like it's all out of stock. So if anyone knows of where I can get, like an SD card saver for the TI 99 4A, I'd like to get one.
I was curious to which ones they had for the Fuji. I mean, there's the Atari 8-bit, but there was a bunch of other ones, Mike, on it. Let's see. I was just pulled it up. There's one for the Commodore. There's one for the S1000.
I need one for the Commodore 64.
I'll have to look at that. I mean, if that is 64, I'm looking at their wiki up here, but the Atari was the first one. Then they had them. There's one for the Apple II, which I've swore I'm not going to get another Apple II. That was the machine I learned on.
Someone in America needs to create these for every different system, so it's easy to buy. I hate you order overseas, it takes forever to get them, or it's hard to get them, or you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Somebody just manufacture these for every system. So,
Millie, are you listening?
Yeah, Millie, help me out.
Or Danny. He's
Dan. No, we said not overseas. Danny's overseas.
Oh yeah, he's overseas. Well, as long as it's easy for me to get, but but the problem is it's so hard to get something. Then shipping gets so high if you're going too far away. So
yeah, no, the guy from Spain was Wilco. He wasn't astronomical on the shipping. It was like, and everything. It was like, I want to say it was 120 total. Everything I needed, which if you look at the regular EverDrives, that's about right. If you're looking at like the the Atari Max and stuff like that, that's about what they go for. So I didn't feel I was at the gas pump, so to speak, paying for gas. It wasn't that bad.
So anyways, we have a lot of talk about all kinds of different subjects, things that we can probably make many episodes of podcasts about going into years and years down the road. But I'm very interested in what JM has for us here tonight.
All right, so I've been on a little bit of a buying spree here.
Again?
I picked up a couple of things, and these are hard to find. Mike probably can attest to this.
I've never
MM
seen
probably
that.
attest to this.
Bump and jump, yeah, that one's
Bump and
difficult.
jumps.
to find.
That's a hard one to find. So I picked that one up, and then I picked these two up, which are equally hard to find.
Is bump and jump like pump and dump?
What's that?
Just continue.
Is bump and jump like pump and dump?
No, it's a car game, and then you can actually like jump, like you can push one of the buttons on the controller, and the car like jumps over other cars and stuff and obstacles.
No, these are actually these are cartridges I didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
so.
these
Bump and jump. Yeah, it was an arcade game. It's
I'm still I still can't get a Burger Time. And
if I find one, I'll hold it for you. I just got 17 cartridges as part of that second Atom.
The other one that I really want, it's too high priced right now. I've got to wait. It's called Root Beer Tapper. That's a hard one to find too.
Yeah,
I've seen that one a little bit. Trying to remember where I saw it.
Yeah, but right now, like on eBay and a couple of other sites, they want like $75 for it. I'm not paying $75 for it. But anyway, and then I bought this cartridge scanner.
Ooh.
I opted for this one because it's cheaper than the Atari Max one. Although the Atari Max, I think, can do more than just ColecoVision. This one is just for ColecoVision. And it only works, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it only works with, it's only Windows 8 through 11.
It's got Windows 9.
I don't know what that is. Yeah. What the hell is Windows 9? That's a screw up there, huh?
That's hilarious. It's got Windows
this
9.
little pamphlet will be worth a lot of money. It's got a misprint. I didn't even notice that, Mike. Anyway, so this, according to the gentleman who created this, the only cartridge that he's aware of that won't dump are Gradius and another one called Penguin Adventure, which I don't have either one of those right now, so it doesn't matter.
Gradius is using a special chip, John. That's the reason why you can't do that one.
For those two?
Well, the Gradius for sure, because that's the reason that they can't release that as a ROM.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then. And then it will do. I believe he said it will do up to. It'll dump cartridges up to 256, including SGM games that are that high as well. So we'll see. But the nice thing is, this was only $59, so I can't really.
That's great.
Because I know the Atari Max one is a lot more.
Yeah.
But I'll have to do a review on this and let you know how it works. But so those were my purchase. Oh, wait, and one more purchase here. Oops. So I bought a used Nintendo DSi XL because I want to work on getting the. Let me share this with you here. I want to work on getting the Coleco DS emulator on to the DSi XL. And one of the nice things I liked about the Coleco DS is it will work. It says it's a Phoenix edition. I don't know if that is tied into the CollectorVision Phoenix or not. I'm not sure, but it supports the ColecoVision, the Atom, the MSX1, the Sword M5, the Memotech MTX, SpectraVision SVI, the Hanamex Pencil 2, the Tanton Einstein, the SG-1000, and the SC-3000 in the CreativeVision. So it supports a lot of different gaming systems, which I'm excited to get working on this. But Anyway, that's the reason I bought the DSi, is to get this emulator onto that unit. So
What's cool about this is they're still working on it. You look at the dates on the
oh yeah, no,
on the files.
yeah, the gentleman, his name's David. What the heck is his name? But let me see if I can see his name. It doesn't matter, but he's very, yeah. And then this is some of the features of the. It'll work. I don't know how he's working this, but it's got super action controller and spinner and roller controller mapping, and the overlay support for a few games that's needed. Yeah, they put a lot of work into this. So I'm excited to, and then this is one here that, like I said, this one kind of blew me away, you know, the super game module support, you know? So anyway, I don't know, John, are you gonna be putting these links into below the YouTube?
Yeah, the links will be in the YouTube. I'll put them on the website and on the
Okay, I mean, I can send them to you if you want. It'd be easy if it's easier, yeah.
yeah, or just put them on the crypt pad
Yeah, okay.
agenda, whichever one,
Yeah.
whichever works best.
And I didn't actually know this, but the one that I purchased, there's actually, they have it listed a little right up here on Atari Age on it. I don't know if you can actually buy it from there. No, it doesn't look like it. But that's what it looks like there. You just pop the cartridge in and
Now, the price is amazing on that. I spent a lot more on the Atari Max.
well, that's when I saw this one, Mike, that's why I'm like, I'll take my chances on this, because I don't have like other systems. So I'm gonna just focus on this one. And
Yeah. Well, I bought mine. The only one I bought was for the ColecoVision. So
oh yeah, because you can buy for other systems, right? You can buy like a
it's an
how does that
adapter.
work for?
It's an adapter. It looks like a Atari cartridge, Atari
Okay.
computer cartridge, and then you plug a little adapter for each game system into the bottom of it. It looks like a
Okay.
cartridge. You plug well, it looks like you're taking two cartridges and plugging them together.
Right, and
And you
I
hook
think
them
those,
USB.
weren't those adapters like $20 a piece too, or something?
Oh yeah, no, they were up there. And then the
Yeah, so
Atari
in
Max
addition
is
to your initial investment, you gotta, you know,
yeah, I
do
mean,
that
I
too.
think
Anyway.
everything together was, I think it was like almost 120 for a system or something. I'd have to go look
yeah,
what I paid for it, but it was this right here is much more, if you're just in the ColecoVision, this is much more elegant.
yeah, it's actually really well made too. It's very sturdy and whatnot. So anyway, let's see, what else did I, kind of getting off the ColecoVision bandwagon. There's a relatively new Atari 2600 emulator called Stella. It's actually a multi-platform emulator, and these are all of the right here are all of the different operating systems. I've never heard of Acorn
What the-
OS. Has anybody
Hell
heard
is
of that
Acorn?
one?
No, what the hell is that?
British.
I have no.
It's
then
British.
It has Amiga OS, DOS, a FreeBSD, IRIX, Linux,
Yeah.
OS2, Mac OS, Unix, and Windows. So it works on a lot of different operating systems. I don't know if other emulators do that or not, because I'm not following the 2600 space that much, but this is, like I said, I'll make sure this gets, the links get to John so he can put it up on the YouTube website. So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. When I saw that it did all those operating systems, I was like, well, it looks pretty cool. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Acorn was by the Sinclair.
Oh, is that what it
Yeah,
was? Okay.
it looks like, and I'm not sure if it's the same one I'm looking at, but it looks like it was almost made to be like a mobile.
British Apple, is what they're saying.
Yeah, it looks like the old iPod interface.
Yeah, here's some screen, like these are just game screenshots here.
Stella works fantastic, by the way. I use it on Raspberry Pi.
Oh, okay, cool.
What they're
So this
showing
is
there,
the-
the launcher.
Yeah, that's the game launcher there. And what else is there? There's a debugger built in, and that's all I see there. But it looks pretty interesting. So
It's, I'll tell you what I like. What they did is, if you go under the downloads,
oh
I think
yeah,
it's stable release. I think it's stable releases. There you go. What they did is so you guys know the retro N77, the box that Hyperkin
yeah,
made. They were
right.
using like version 3 of Stella, and the community got the developers to upgrade it. If you notice, they're using 6.6 now. So you buy the Retron, and you flash the SD card with that. It brings you up to
okay.
date with the latest and greatest. That's the reason when you said Stella, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I've been using that when I use the Retron.
So it really isn't that new. It's just new to me.
Well, no, it's new. They just, this release is brand new. It came out like 2 weeks ago, the 6th, 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
their last release for a while. They're not going to do anymore. They actually,
okay.
Steven
Okay.
came out and said he's not going to do anymore for a while.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, it's excellent, dude. It's excellent. I mean, it's
Okay.
runs everything.
Very good. Even like newer, well, let's see, I guess, well, you'd have to dump the ROMs on the newer games.
That's the
but-
problem. Is some of the ones on Atari Age. I just bought John Champo makes games for he did the Wizard of War arcade, and he just did Ladybug, which was one of my mom's favorite on the ColecoVision, but he just did versions for the Atari, and I can't dump them I don't have the cartridge for the Atari Max, but I was trying to dump them with the Retron, because you can
Yeah.
actually tell the Retron to dump the cartridge, because that's how it reads it. It dumps it. You put a cartridge and it dumps it onto the SD card, and then it
Got
plays
it.
it from the
Yeah.
image. So if you don't delete the image, you've just basically made an image of a cartridge. For those newer Atari Age games, they're using an ARM processor on a daughter board on these motherboards, so they can't rip them. It's
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
pretty clever how they're milking that old system resources. They're actually just adding another computer inside the thing, but it's brilliant. It's
And you know what?
absolutely brilliant.
I've seen some like recent games that were made, and they look a lot better than when they first came out.
Oh
You
man,
know,
yeah.
the programmers are doing a fantastic job of really getting their money's worth out of that system. So
That's how they're doing it, is they're putting an ARM chip inside of them. I thought that was rather interesting. So I was hoping I could dump them, because again, I like to put them on a Atari Max or a what do you call it, Uno or one of those, and play everything. So I'm not touching those original cartridges. I like putting them away. So
Yeah.
I found that very interesting, how they were doing that. So it makes sense why what's his name, Albert is charging as much as he has to for some of those. His prices are very reasonable, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
that's the reason why. And he is recycling cartridges, he's not making his own. So all those millions of combat cartridges, that's what he's using.
okay, neat. Well, that's good that he's doing that.
Yeah, and this, like I said, this emulator, it's the best out there by far. You found a gem.
Okay, well, I'll
Yeah.
have to look into putting it on one of my systems so I can load some ROMs on
So you
there.
can put ET and Pac-Man on there.
That's like
Custer's
one end of the
Custer's
spectrum.
Revenge.
I was
What-
thinking that too. You could play Custer's Revenge like my family did.
The
One
best
year.
game. You played at Christmas. Everybody likes it.
Yeah, we'll do it for the Christmas party. I'll
Yeah.
make sure it's on my Windows machine. Yeah. Anyway, I think one more thing I had was this is the website for where I didn't purchase this on this website, but it's called the Super Console X, and I bought this one right here, and I got it pretty cheap. I think I lucked out on Amazon or something, but the one that I got has 41,000 games, and
Wow.
I got it for like $39, and I don't know what's in, I'm not sure what kind of a board is inside of it. I'm half tempted to like take it apart to see if it's an actual Raspberry Pi in there or not. But
John, is this the
it
same?
it doesn't look like it, but
Is this the same company that makes the arcade stick boards?
I'm gonna scroll down. This is all their stuff, John.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What was that first thing up the top that had like the alien head in it? What is that?
It's like Alienware.
Yeah,
It
that's what I was
does
thinking.
kind of. Yeah. Yeah. It does. Right.
I don't know. It just takes you to this. I don't
Yeah.
know what the hell.
Huh.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you got a good deal on that one, John. They're like 86.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
I just
it
saw it. Go
come-
down. Go down.
What's that?
Go down. Right there.
There's
Super
the alien.
Console X. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
117,000 games.
117,000 games for it's between 200 and 240. But I actually got two wireless controllers with it, and it's got full HDMI out. You can hook up to the to Ethernet or Wi-Fi. Here, let me stop sharing here. It's not very big.
Wow.
I mean, that's all.
Oh, it looks.
It's like
It
4
looks like
inches.
a. Yeah, it looks like a. Yeah, it looks
It's
like
like
a
4
super,
inches square, and then it's got. I don't know if you can see this or not. Well, let me get a good
Put it in
right
front
there,
of you.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There's-
There you go.
power over here, and then Ethernet, and then there's HDMI out, and then there's I don't know what that. There's a
What's the
reset
thing
button.
hanging out of the side? other
That's
side?
for the right here. That's for the wireless controllers.
Ah.
So you probably could use whatever controller you want it with it. If you wanted to use like an
Yeah, I haven't,
Xbox or
you know,
something.
Yeah.
And it's got a nice interface and everything, you know. So, but you know, for $40, I took
No,
a
for
shot.
$40.
And you know, 41,000 ROMs, I could probably, there's a micro SD card. I can just probably take that out and get ROMs off of there. And dump them.
Yeah, it's cool that it looks like a Super Famicom too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looks like a
Yeah.
miniature Super Famicom.
Yep.
But anyway, that was my other purchase, and that was just kind of on a whim there. But if you want to see this is the here's the scanner. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
It's actually not that bad. It's pretty well made.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like it was 3D printed.
No, it does not. It looks like it's molded, and he
Yeah.
actually. It's funny. I don't know if you can see this, but he actually signed it. It says number
That's
12. It says number 12. Thanks.
To
Thanks.
John with love.
And his name is John Jones, and he signed it John. So I don't know. I'll give you a review on that. See it, but how well it dumps the ROMs. Because I have some games from the Collector Vision club that I'm willing to share with you guys if you want them. You know, the
should.
ROMs.
When you boot,
I
when
don't
you
think we're
boot
allowed
that-
to talk about that.
Yeah. When,
That's-
Oops, that's on.
Yeah.
You may have to cut that. You may
that
have to
might be a
that.
cut here.
That's a cut.
So
That's a
cut,
cut.
cut,
One incident too.
yeah.
Sorry, John.
cut this as well. But but when you boot it up, does it say Electra? Does it say ELECMU or something like that
On which one,
on
John?
on that device that the little game system? When you boot it up next time, watch what it says on there, because I'm looking at one of the other ones. They have one that's called the Super Console X Max, and it's a round one. It looks like a hockey puck.
Yeah.
I bought on Scamazon a Android device that looks exactly like that. I'm looking at the ROM specs, the specs on it,
Yeah.
and I hacked that thing with ELECMU.
Oh, okay.
I was going to use that inside my my cabinets that I do, the bar tops I make, but I couldn't get the video thing to work. But I just pulled it up, and I'm going to when I go in the bedroom and look at the because I'm playing with the Android side of it. It looks like the same box. They just put a new sticker on top of it.
Yeah.
You know what? They have different amount of memory in them or something.
Yeah. Look
Yeah,
at
There's
the
one.
some-
There's one here, 256, which is $100. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
look-
some of them have a lot more ROMs than other ones. Like I said, mine had 41,000. So
and you can buy the cards for it too. I bet you stick that in the Amazon box. I bet you it works.
yeah,
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna drop the one I'm talking about in our Discord, but I know John's got to cut all this.
yeah. Sorry about that.
Nah, John likes that. He likes extra work.
My favorite thing.
I kind of forgot. That's sort of like the gray area.
And I'm still a JC. I'm still and JM. I'm still trying to get Star Castle. I really want Star Castle.
Yeah.
And the guy I get it from, he's asking Rob for it now. So
You know what?
Oh boy.
no,
You know
apparently
what's,
Rob. Apparently
you know what-
Rob shares. Apparently Rob does share.
Is
Stuff
that
that-
Star Castle for the ColecoVision?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love Star Castle.
Yeah.
Was one of my favorite games. I got the asteroids from him. Remember, I gave you guys asteroids.
Yeah.
So
You know what else is a good one I saw? I was actually trying to bid on it on eBay. It's called Star Fortress.
Mhm.
I
It's
got
a
that
good
one. I have that.
You okay?
That's John. You can get the ROM for that real easy. That ROM has been
Okay.
really.
Okay.
Yeah, he did Star Fortress and what's the other one he did? I got him send me both of them. The
I think
Astro
it was
Invader. He's got
Space
two of them.
Invaders.
Yeah,
Space Invaders.
if you can't find it, let me know. Those are both,
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know.
we can get those.
Okay.
I bought them from him, so I have the cartridge.
Yeah.
But I already had the ROMs. But he gave me,
Okay.
if you don't hit him up on eBay, if you hit him up
Yeah.
on Atari Age, he'll sell them to you for like $5-6 cheaper.
Wow.
Oh, okay. You mean the actual cartridge?
Yeah, if you really want the actual cartridge, he'll sell
Yeah.
them for like I think
Well-
they're 30 up on eBay, and he'll sell them.
So,
for like 20.
eBay had the Space Invaders and the Star Fortress for both for 55.
Yeah, he'll go if you hit him up on eBay. I mean, hit him up on. And also, I'll even see if I can find his email address, because he also does Bad Santa or Mean Santa.
Did he do that one too?
He's releasing that one too. And when he sent me the thing, he said, if you want these games, he put a little sticker in there and said, if you want these games, hit me up on here and I can do better deals. So I did, and he gave me a really good deal on them.
Now, are you talking about the physical cartridge or
Yes,
ROMs?
I'm talking about the ROMs are released. The guy that did
No, the ROMs are released.
the
Okay.
guy that did the ROMs put the ROMs out there. They're
Okay.
easy to find. They're easy to
Okay.
find, but if you can't, don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, the guy
I'll let
that
you know.
if you really want the ROMs, I mean, really want the games, he'll give you a much better deal.
Okay.
Nice.
I think that is all that let me just double check my
Okay,
notes.
so we
here.
wanna-
Hold. Yeah, hold on. We gotta uncut this. So we're 9:19 p.m. JC.
Okay.
You guys are making it worse.
My apologies.
It's just a
You're
lot
fine.
of love.
I'm just kidding.
It's just a lot of love on the Zoom.
You know what's funny? I do that, and then it still takes me 2 hours to find where I'm even trying to talk about it, so it doesn't matter.
Just
I
just
think-
try to remember how many Coors Lights you are into it.
Yeah.
I have a whole shelf of them here next to me.
Yeah, that's
Now we know why the
that's all-
computer shut off.
Yeah, but that's weird blaming it. You
I
spilled the Coors Light
poured
on it.
an entire Coors Light over my computer. Anyways,
that's
go ahead,
all I
Jay.
have, guys. So
Okay. Well, I have two things I want to show real quick. And the first one that I'm going to show, let me go ahead and share screen, and I will talk through this for people listening to the audio. The first one is that ray tracing is now on the Nintendo 64. Right?
Whoa.
Crazy.
That is nuts.
So it's actually a mod that's available for a few of the N64 emulators. It's a plugin is what it is. And there's only a couple games that this one individual has the individual's name is SM64RT, and they have been making these mods for a certain number of games for these Nintendo 64 games within an emulator as a plugin. So if you download this plugin, install it on your emulator for the Nintendo 64, you now have ray tracing on the Nintendo 64. And those games are Kirby 64's The Crystal Shards, Mystic Ninja, and Snowboard Kids, and also my favorite game of all time, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It's also available for Paper Mario. There is a video. I will post the article in the description for this, so everybody can go check that video out. I'm not going to look at it now, but it's actually pretty impressive. This is kind of a shot, and I know this just kind of looks like generic Nintendo 64, but there's a lot more. If you actually put the image, like an actual screenshot of this part of the Legend of Zelda game on the Nintendo 64 side by side, it's much different. This is a lot less blocky, not as many polygons. It's amazing that people are even bothering to do this with a console that came out in I think 96. The N64 came out, so something cool. Last thing I want to talk about, I've talked about Elden Ring hundreds of times over the last couple podcasts. It's close contender as my favorite game. Well, somebody made a demake of Elden Ring for the Game Boy. The group's name is Shintendo, and you can actually download this and play it on actual Game Boy hardware.
Wow.
So it's not the full Elden Ring game. It's 2 areas that they recreated, Northern Limgrave and Stormvale Castle. But if I hit run game here, and this might be loud, so if it's loud, I'm sorry ahead of time. But you can actually go in here and maybe play it. I can't do it right now, but you can actually go through here like the actual Elden Ring game. Like, this is Limgrave. I just started the game. I can come down here and you can, like, you dodge, and you can attack with your sword, and I can go across the bridge. And they have the first 2 major Elden Ring bosses in this game.
Wow.
Yeah. And I believe that I'm not going to show the whole thing, but yeah, here's the first enemy, the first boss, but I'm going to die. Anyways, yeah, that's which you die all the time in Elden Ring, so it makes sense. Yeah. But they made this in 48 hours for a game jam.
Huh.
That's amazing.
And I don't know if they plan on making more. I don't know if they've made any other games like this, but I just thought it was really cool that they did it, and that also you can play this on actual Game Boy hardware if you download the ROM. And
but not on emulators though.
Well, this is an emulator right here.
That is an emulator. Okay.
Yeah, it's built in the browser. I mean, you can play most Game Boy games now in browser. But you can play it. Yeah, no. You can play it in a Game Boy emulator, and you can also download it and put it on an SD card and play it on actual Game Boy hardware.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. That's what I meant. So I don't know. I think that's cool. I have a giant Elden Ring poster on my wall on the other side here. I'm all about it, and that caught my attention that was a thing. So
nice.
Just a couple things I wanted to add to the conversation tonight. I don't know. I mean, does anybody else have any final words they want to add here? I think we've said a lot tonight.
We have actually.
Yeah.
And that's it's in between my computer crapping the bed at one point. So hopefully we still have the first 40 minutes of this podcast to go on, because if not, I'm going to rage quit and just cancel the podcast for the rest of our lives. But that's everything. Well, if we're all happy and elated and jubilant and everything else that you can think of when talking about how nice and smiley and cozy we can all be, I have one thing that I think we all need to say, and we always say this to our audiences, and it's just something that we want everybody to know. And what is that one thing, guys, that we want everybody to know? We want you all to stay nerdy, my friends. Man, that's some slow motion.
All right, that was our best one ever.
You gotta do a countdown. You gotta do a countdown or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I have the bouncing ball on the screen.
Or point to us or something.
Bouncing ball on the screen.
Yeah.
I think one of the more affectionate parts of our podcast is just people tuning in to listen to us screw that up. They skip the whole thing just for the last 10 seconds. Anyways, thanks to everyone for coming on. It's been great. We're gonna have more. I mean, we don't really have a set schedule or anything, but we'll have more podcasts in the future. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, do whatever you can. Helps us out, pushes us up on the charts. So, all right, guys.
If you ever have
Yeah.
topics you want us to discuss,
We're on
happy to do
Facebook
that,
now
too.
too. Search Techegy Pod on Facebook. We are on there. Reach out to us if you want to come on. Reach out to us if you have something to talk about. We're open to having people on. We're open to conversing with anyone. So, all righty, boys.
We ought to consider when we go to the convention in a couple of weeks.
Well, we've talked about it
Stream
before,
it.
doing a
Stream
live
it
stream.
live.
Yes.
On Facebook.
Yeah, we've
That
talked
would be
about that
cool.
before. We should do that. We really should. All right. Cool. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning
right.
in. Have a good one. Stay nerdy, my friends.
See ya.
happy trails.